Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about this Michael and Willow scene because, um, I swear if I was actually just watching it straight, this would just give me a headache. It would have gave me a giant headache because all they really did was tiptoe around their feelings until they came to the conclusion of it's what's best to do what's for everyone else. Like, I don't know if that sentence made any sense, but watching that scene really made very little sense. Pretty much what Willow is doing is being a coward. She is in love with Michael, but she's also in love with Chase. Instead of actually sorting out her feelings, she's just kind of just standing there, I guess, being a damn wallflower, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna let Michael decide, you know? So, Michael really couldn't decide at the beginning, and I think, I'm about to say Sasha, Willow was like, well, is that what you want to do? Like, do you want us to, like, break up? Like, do you want us to be together? What do you want? Sweetheart, it's 2021. What do you want? I don't. Uh, that's literally how I felt watching this whole tired, annoying scene. Somebody said this in the comment section maybe a while back that like they just kind of just rushed everything with this whole breaking up Michael and Willow. Breaking up Michael and Sasha, and this whole thing just seems rushed. And I felt like the only way they can actually pull it back together was in this scene, and it just came off messy as hell. I don't even want to spend that much time talking about it because it was just so damn irritating. But the point is, Michael's like, let's get a divorce, and Willow's like, okay, fine, even though that's not what she wants. And we just had to sit there and suffer through that for a whole damn hour. Awesome. Now, okay, I'm not gonna lie, the whole Jax and Carly thing, I felt like Jax was just like, so when are we gonna declare, when we're gonna declare Sonny dead? I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you should grieve for him. I know in these soap operas that it clearly doesn't matter if you don't have a body at this point because, if they're missing for, I don't know, a couple of days, they're automatically dead. I mean, hell, we already had a memorial, so, I'm so not looking forward to the funeral. But, yeah, I felt like Jack's kind of rushing her through this scene of grief. And, my goodness. Then we get into this point, of Carly says something that I was, well, befuddled. She said when you love someone, sometimes you have to keep secrets. When you love someone, there needs to be some secrets. What? Seriously, tell me if that actually makes sense. If you love someone, you need to keep some secrets. You know what? Jax is actually sitting there listening to her too. The queen of decisions when it comes towards relationships and heavens everything else. He's listening to her. Now, to me, there's a fine line between, I don't know, you wake up in the morning with your significant other, your partner, and maybe their breath doesn't really smell so good. You're not going to be a dick about it. But, that's not a secret. That's just being nice. This chick is, you know what? So yeah, they pretty much talk about that, and they talk about Sonny, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just really didn't care. But yeah, they talk about the necklace and keeping stuff from Nina because it's in her best interest and yada yada yada. And sweetheart, let's be honest, it's in your best interest. But sure, Carly, whatever you sit there, whatever you do to, be able to look yourself in the mirror. Now on the other side, in Crimson, you got Nina, and then you have Ava, and honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie, this scene really didn't go. It really wasn't that interesting, except for the fact that, you know, Ava wasn't there complaining and being like, hey, listen, do you think you can sit there and talk to, you know, Jax, or talk to Carly, talk to somebody? And, you know, when Nina was like, yeah, that's not going to do any good on other cases. I mean, at best, her and Carly are friendly and cordial, but, like, you know, with Jax, it just would be crossing the line. Now, at some point, the thing that got really interesting for me is when Nina was like, you know, she's giving up the search. And, you know, she mentions Jack's name in it. And Ava was like, do you want to give up the search because you want to, or do you want to do it because Jax wants you to? Now, granted, this is the second time that somebody else brought that up. You know, about Jax possibly being the one, you know, like, is it Jax's idea of you giving up the search? Valentine was the first person, okay? And you could sit there and say what you want about Valentine, oh, he's jealous or whatever, but when Ava's sitting there saying the same thing, come on. Like, Nina, she's not exactly my favorite character because of, well, the whole Willow and Charlotte thing. So, honestly, to tell you the truth, I am a person that does hold grudges. I know, but and I know that I'm being a hypocrite because there's so many other people in the show that has done much worse things. But I just remember the scene being so nasty, and you know what? Just watch my first video, and you'll understand exactly why. But my point is, Nina, get a clue. When you got two people just sitting there telling you the same thing, come on, like, what are we doing? And at that point, I don't remember the scene really going too much of anywhere of any importance. But Jax comes over, and of course he lies in Nina's face like he's been doing for weeks or months. You know, I'm sorry, too, I can't keep track. And you know, I guess Nina talks about, like, I don't know, some volleyball thing that she had, and she wants to pass it down to Jocelyn, and you know, that's when Jax was like, I love you, and Nina smiles, and I'm like, you know, it's amazing you can sit there and say that you love her, and you're just lying to her in the same breath, but sure, you know. He did sit there and say that I'm not that much better from Valentine. You know, to be fair, I mean, he is better than Valentine in the sense that he didn't sit there and hold a bunch of people hostage and shoot someone and, you know, all the stuff that he did with Drew. But, I mean, you're not that much... I mean, you're still kind of bad for what you're doing to, Nina, lying to her face, and sit there and say that you love her. It's like... Really? Now, Ava goes to Carly's place and sees Jocelyn. She asks for the necklace for Avery's sake. Which is probably true, because she doesn't really know the meaning behind it. So she asks for Avery, and Jocelyn gives it to her. But of course, she says, you know, you killed my brother, you're the person who's responsible for my brother's death. Every time I see you, that's what I'm going to think about, and here you go. And, you know, to be honest, at this point, it's not that it's beating a dead horse, but, I mean, she's right. You know, Jocelyn is right. I mean, yeah, Ava didn't directly kill Morgan, but you know, the whole tampering with the pills and everything like that, and him getting in that car and doing what he did was caused by what she did. So, yeah. And, you know, if we're going to sit there and play devil's advocate a little bit, I mean, he could have took that car, and even if Olivia, the other Olivia, didn't blow up the car, he could have sat there and wrapped that car around a tree. He could have went off the cliff. There's tons of other things that could have happened, and it still would have been, you know, caused by her. So, all she did was say thank you, and she walked out, because at this point, what else can you really say? Between that, shooting Connie, and heavens knows what else she did, yeah. Now, on the other side of town, like everyone predicted, like I said, once again, Sonny saves the day because, well, he's Sonny and that's what he does. He's just amazing like that. That and this gunman just seems like he's the dumbest. Like, he's really bad at this whole robbing people thing. Um, and Sonny takes the gun away from him, and then he acts like himself as far as like being a mob boss or whatever. Something to saying get out of here, whatever. And then he shoots him off like a fly. And then the guy Lenny is like, I haven't really seen, like most people see a gun and they get freaked out, like what's going on. So, long story short, he goes upstairs to get cleaned up or whatever, and Lenny once again is like, oh well, somebody who knows how to handle a firearm, either one side or the other. Do we really want this guy being like with us or whatever? And while he is understandably right to be skeptic of this stranger that he doesn't know, the stranger also saved his life, and I just don't understand for the life of me why between Lenny, the state trooper before, why is everyone treating Sonny like dirt? I don't get it. But anyway, Sonny overhears that he comes downstairs. He's like, yo, listen, I don't want to be in any trouble. I'll leave, I'll bounce, and the nurse, which, did they actually, Phyllis, right? I think that's her name. To me, then Phyllis, there's Phyllis, and then there's Phyllis from Days. But anyway, she's like, you're gonna stay, you're gonna work, could you start tonight? I don't really understand how long. I could have sworn she said, could you start tomorrow, but whatever, fine. He's happy, he says thank you, he walks upstairs, and that's ends that scene. Now, let's talk about, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why I'm gonna lie. When I first saw Jocelyn, Cameron, and Trina, I was just like, ugh, really? We're doing a kid story now? So, they come back from, I guess, this high school event. I don't know what it is, I don't really care. But, they come back from that, and, Jocelyn's just getting really tired of people walking up to her, asking her, is she okay? Condolences and everything like that, even though there's no body, but whatever. So she's talking about that. At some point of this conversation that I kind of didn't care about, she came back and she's like, my journal's missing. What's going on? I can't find my journal. So Cam is like, yo, listen, let's just go out, get some coffee, get some drinks, and we'll come back and we'll search for it. Jocelyn's like, I'm just not in the mood. So she sends them off to the only cafe that's in town. So Trina and Cam. By the way, I'm not gonna lie, I really do feel like, as much crap as I give Trina, and I do give her crap, I do think that she is a better character than Jocelyn at times. Like, she seems smarter, she seems more like, she doesn't dilly-dally around when it comes towards asking somebody out, finding out if they like her or not. Like, she gets straight to the point. And I feel like sometimes they really do need to show Trina a little bit more. And I hope they do, with that whole Portia thing. Because Trina does actually seem like a better character than Jocelyn. I know I just kind of went off on a tangent, but that's just my feelings. So, now I need something to drink. So, Cameron pretty much tells Trina that, hey, listen, it isn't lost. Well, Dev took it. He didn't really get into the reasons why, or maybe he did and it was off screen, but pretty much he was like, yeah, he did. And pretty much he was like, this is why we can't tell Jocelyn, because we don't want her last memories of Dev to be, well, scumbag. Okay? There's really no other way to sit there and put it. Just being a general scumbag. I don't even know if he knows the whole story. Because he was going to sit there and apologize to Cam for being a scumbag, but then, Cyrus being Cyrus decided he wanted to blow up the place, and, Dev is no longer needed. But pretty much, Trina's like, listen, if she doesn't find the journal by tomorrow, we just tell her everything. And Cam agrees. Now, Olivia meets up with Robert, and she pretty much she pretty much asks Robert, how to be a spy. Telling him that, you know what, listen, I don't trust, Tracy's story. There's a lot of stuff that's just not adding up. How could I, what could I do? And Robert's like, listen, whatever you say isn't admissible, but if you trip her up, we got something. So he gives her some cues or whatever, and when she starts talking to Tracy, now granted, Ned was talking to Tracy, and I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really add up to anything. He pretty much was asking her about where her whereabouts was, and she was all like, oh, getting all defensive, do I need a curfew, yada yada yada, and also, Ned is adopting Leo. I kind of have my issues with that, but whatever. Not that Ned isn't a good person, but I just felt like they just kind of treated Julian a little, kind of like even though he's his biological dad and he does love him, they treated Ned more of a father figure in Leo's life more than his actual father, and I personally have issues with that. But anyway, Olivia gets back, she starts talking to Tracy, and she trips her up a couple of times with some details and stuff, kind of getting her to lower her guard, and trips her up with like the coffee and stuff like that. And at this point, Tracy isn't stupid, so she's like, why are you asking me all these different questions? Like, you're trying to trip me up? Like, Tracy is a lot older than her, so it's not like she's not going to pick up on some of the stuff that she's doing. So Ned goes upstairs to tell Leo about... No, actually, to tell you the truth, when he came back, he went somewhere. I don't know exactly where he went. But Tracy was like, alright, listen, you've been, like, acting kind of sketchy, asking me a bunch of random, weird questions. Why don't you sit there and tell me what's on your mind? And that's when Lisa... Actually, that's her actual name, Lisa. That's when Olivia's like, alright, so what really happened with you and Alexis? She just asked her flat out. Which I'm just like... she's gonna lie to you. She's gonna lie to you. But sure, whatever. We're gonna come up with a good convincing lie, and we're gonna sit there and be stuck with this story for like another, 2 weeks? So, yay. Awesome. I feel like I'm missing something. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I kinda got everything, I feel like I kinda mentioned everything. If I missed something, it's probably a really small, minute, detail that probably wasn't that significant, but if it is, and it is to you, please let me know, because I'm always trying to improve these, reviews. This whole Michael and Willow thing was just, it's just a mess, okay? It's just a mess. And I feel like everyone, even when I go in the comment section and I watch, watch some clips or whatever, and I read the comments, it's like everyone's like, what is going on? At this point, people are just like, Sasha should be with Brando. So, I mean, it's cool. It gives the guy something to do. I do like his character so far. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. This whole thing is a mess. Hopefully they'll straighten it out. But I have a feeling like it's going to get more messier before it gets better, because Willow is just... I'm trying not to be graphic, but the point is, Willow needs to just kind of just take charge, and it's like it's 2021, like... This whole mousy act just isn't working for anyone. But I guess they're just doing it for drama, so whatever. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for listening to me rant, and thank you for watching the video. I know this came out super late, but, I appreciate it all the same. With that being said, yes, be safe. I will catch everyone in the next review.